Good taste is easy to spot, but hard to pin down. You know it when you see it. With your car, you want something sophisticated and daring, yet classic, approachable, but with an air of opulence. That's where the Range Rover Evoque comes in. The Range Rover Evoque is charisma in motion, art and craft in equal measure. Its exterior is a quietly bold expression of Range Rover DNA with a floating roof, continuous waistline, and three-dimensional grille that give it a captivating character. Inside, you'll find a calm, minimalist cabin anchored by a tactile gear shifter where clean lines, sumptuous materials, and advanced technology come together. Make a statement in the Range Rover Evoque. This elegant SUV elevates every drive, offering a new dimension of refinement and luxury. Whether you prefer a modern aesthetic or a warmer, authentic appearance, the Evoque's interior can be tailored to your taste. Ready to experience sophisticated design and premium materials in motion? Explore the Range Rover Evoque at LandRoverUSA.com. It's a Minimalist Monday edition of Optimal Living Daily. The Man Who Dies with the Most Stuff by Kristin Glenn with Minimalist.com. And I'm Justin Malik. And we're going to jump right into today's Minimalist Monday post as we optimize your life. The Man Who Dies with the Most Stuff by Kristin Glenn with Minimalist.com. If I know anything about being an American, it's that the man who dies with the most stuff wins. At 13, I was well on my way to winning. Somehow I had developed a love for bargains, off-season prom dresses, after Christmas sweater sales, thrifted jeans for a few bucks. I could buy more for less than anyone I knew. And I took pride in all of that cheap stuff I accumulated as a middle-class, middle-American, middle schooler. This ability to bargain, I thought, would win me coolness and popularity. Surely I would have far more clothes than my friends. But I didn't. Their closets were overflowing too. Shoes, bags, jeans. I kept buying more and more cheap clothing in an effort to keep up. Each season, our closets collectively spat out old trends as we shoveled in new ones. In a race to die with the most stuff, everyone wants to look good. So I too race with shopping bags in hand through high school and college. By 23, I was much cooler than my 13-year-old self. I wanted to travel, live abroad, and experience life outside my hometown and my dorm. I still loved to bargain more than anything, but it wasn't financially feasible to schlep a crate of high heels around the world, so I bought a backpack. I carefully chose a few garments for the next several months and nervously stepped onto the plane. Things look different on the other side of the planet, especially on the winding rural roads of countries like Laos and Cambodia. With my nose pressed against dirty bus windows, I observed. Life is far less shiny and new in that part of the world. There's more dirt and grass, both indoors and out. Only one word came to mind when I thought about my life back home: lavish. With eyes wide, I realized my selfishness for wanting and wanting and wanting, and never ever thinking about the impact that my want had on the rest of the world. Generally, people turn to a minimalist lifestyle to make their day-to-day existence easier, to save money, to save time, to focus on what's truly important. These reasons are admirable. They allow us to find meaning beyond our jeans and gadgets. But my travels abroad turned me onto minimalism for a different reason. I slowly saw the impact of my consumption taking a toll on the environment and on others. It became a personal thing. And I realized that minimalism isn't just a lifestyle decision, but a chance to save humanity. That's a pretty bold statement. Minimalism will save humanity. But over the following year, I became more convinced of the power that lifestyle choices have on changing the world. My time abroad changed my perspective, not only on what it means to live with less, but to live. To live is to make choices day in and day out. And for a long time, I chose a good bargain, retail therapy, and new trends over the chance to reduce pollution, carbon emissions, and landfill waste. It was time to start asking questions of myself and of the companies I supported for many years. In a few months, I'll turn 26. The past year of my life has been devoted to learning about fabrics, fashion, and consumption, and starting an ultra-versatile eco-clothing line with my close friend Shannon. Inspired by our backpacks and appalled by our former shopaholic selves, we began learning about how our shopping habits affect the rest of the world. We came across disturbing statistics. Americans, while making up only 5% of the world's population, consume 25% of the world's resources. In 2007, the average American was purchasing one piece of clothing every 5.4 days and discarding 78 pounds of textiles every year. That's an absurd rate of consumption. What's even more unsettling is how these clothes are constructed. Many of our garments are made with petroleum-based synthetics chemically sprayed for anti-wrinkle benefits and printed using inks with known carcinogens. The byproducts and waste end up in ecosystems on the other side of the world that look much different from the enticing point of purchase. Progressive research points to the idea that in order to change the world truly, we must look towards a more minimal way of life. The earth simply can't support a world full of overflowing walk-in closets and new trends for every season. Looking back, I ponder the social pressures behind my consumption. My friends and I wholeheartedly believe that life would somehow be better if only we had the trendiest garb. I wanted to be the woman who died with the most stuff without realizing that if one dies with everything, the rest are left with nothing. Minimalism for me is not just an individual experience that makes my own life richer, it's a collective experience that improves the world as a whole. Perhaps it's time to reconsider our consumption mantra. Perhaps it could go something like this. If I know anything about being a world citizen, it's that the man who dies with the smallest footprint does the greatest good. You just listened to the post titled, "The Man Who Dies with the Most Stuff" by Kristin Glenn with Minimalists.com. And I'll be right back with my commentary. Everything from our watches to our light bulbs is getting smarter. Isn't it time your e-commerce business caught up? Enter ShipStation, the game-changing solution that's revolutionizing how businesses handle shipping. As someone who's experienced the power of ShipStation firsthand, I can't overstate how transformative it's been for my operations. The ability to manage orders from over 180 platforms in one dashboard is a lifesaver. But what really blew me away was the automation. With a click, I'm printing shipping labels and saving hours of manual work. And let's talk about those carrier discounts. We're talking up to 89% off UPS, DHL Express, and USPS rates. It's like having a secret weapon in the competitive world of e-commerce. ShipStation isn't just about saving money, though. It's about scaling smart. You can boost efficiency all while bringing your costs down. Lead your e-commerce business into a smarter future with the shipping software that delivers. Switch to ShipStation today. Go to ShipStation.com and use code OLD to sign up for your free 60-day trial. That's ShipStation.com, code OLD.
This episode is brought to you by Atlassian. Atlassian makes the team collaboration software that powers enterprise businesses around the world, including over 80% of the Fortune 500. With Atlassian's AI-powered software like Jira, Confluence, and Loom, you'll have more time to do the work that matters. In fact, Atlassian customers experience a 25% reduction in project duration per year. Unleash the potential of your team at Atlassian.com. Atlassian.
Thank you to Kristin, a guest writer on the Minimalist site. This article was written way back, I think in 2011, and so many years later, it's still just as relevant as before. I'm not sure if America is still 5% of the world's population and using 25% of its resources, but it would not be surprising. Fast fashion is a problem. It takes its toll. And even if we consider donating old clothes, there's still way too much, and can have an impact on economies where those clothes are being donated. It's complicated. And that's just clothing, not including electronics, processed food, so many other categories. It's easy to buy something just because it's on sale or because it seems like a good deal. And we might not actually think about how often we'll use it or if it's just going to sit there collecting dust. It might sound dramatic to say minimalism is a way to save humanity, but I think it does have merit. Every little choice we make, everything we buy or don't buy, it all adds up. So a good one to think about today for Minimalist Monday. Thank you for supporting me by listening to the show every day and sharing it with someone. It means a lot. Have a great start to your week, and I'll see you tomorrow, where your optimal life awaits.